good wonderful viewers and Alubara navigating the Nigerian Memory and Ogolumona signal also can send in. For the team on down and the man I get a time more time. Like usually we do it for you. This is your Gambia show. I saw that bring out opinion Gambians that are in the writing industry that are doing great and their pieces are reaching to people understand all over the country and across of the country as well. So today we have another gentleman with us who is also notable and incredible writer that one could say. I can't have a best way to describe him, but we give him a floor for him to introduce himself to you. My brother, welcome to Gambia Show officially.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to be here. And to all wonderful listeners, and I am Abu Bakr, known as the Mind's Eye.
All right, Abu Bakr, known as the
Mind's Eye.
Minds?
The Mind's Eye.
The Mind's Eye. Wow, I really so good to say that word. So let's start with that, sir. What does it mean? The Mind's Eye, like, break it down for a Gambia to understand.
I usually hear that, but just to make it short, it is showing how my creativity is. Yes, I always like to reason and talk from the deeper side of things, which not everybody sees. So that's just it.
Wow, that's incredible. That is so nice, being honest. And the way you're able to understand the name itself, if it comes with that kind of explanation, I think is something that one will have to answer. So let's try to retrieve you back a little bit. Let's bring you back a little bit. Let's see Abu Bakr. For who doesn't know Abu Bakr, who is Abu Bakr?
Well, I'm a man of so many things. Yeah, for sure. But one thing is for certain, it lies on business, poetry, and then football.
Wow.
Yeah, but for things that I'm doing as a profession, that is specifically business and then poetry.
Business and poetry.
Yeah.
So today is a Gambia, so we are mostly on the writing aspect, but I believe business is also part of writing. So let's just take us on a little bit about your educational background. Let's go with that. Where are you originated from, and then how did you come to start schooling?
From Buku. Yeah, I started my schooling at Buku from the primary level towards the junior secondary level. Then I moved to Kotu for the high school level. Then from there, I studied at Success Professional Tutors, which I was able to acquire advanced diploma in business management and administration. So from there, I also started reading courses privately, like entrepreneurship management, human resource management. The list goes on. So many. Yeah, I cannot mention all, but these are the
that is so nice and that is so perfect of you, Abu Bakr. So there are things that people love to ask. Before you join into the writing, there are things that might pull you into it. When you talk about right now, what you study means like someone who is in love with business.
Yeah.
So now, what pulled you into the writing space?
Well, art has been part of me since I was a kid. Yeah, I always say this, and I will say this here again. My life was a form of a triangle. All I knew as a kid was school, Dara, and then home.
And I think that's a triangle for all Ghanaians. Unfortunately, it's the triangle for every Ghanaian.
Well, mine was really different, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really different because it was just the later part of life. I have certain experience when it comes to certain things, like going out frequently. Of course, I do go out, but then it has a limit and then it has a time frame. So that's just it. Okay. As I was saying, I was exposed to the art since I was very young. It was reading on my books, listening to documentaries, stuff like that. You know, there was one time journalists normally played documentary very frequently in the early 2000s. So I was always watching that. I started listening to news at a very young age. I can't even recall the age exactly. So I've been exposed to so many things when it comes to musical instruments as well. But everything just was like a realization when I went to school. That was in 2019, the year that I graduated. Yeah, that was just it. I could remember vividly. So I wrote a particular piece just to make the long story short. Okay. rigorously built by my literature teacher then. So when
what grade was that?
That was in grade 12.
Grade 12 itself. At Kotua?
Yeah.
Nice one.
I could remember very well. So that was it. So when we read the piece, he was like, this is good. And then he advised me on the things that I needed to put in. You see? So that was it. Like, I said to myself, I can do this. I was having the talent.
And you, but you did not notice it, or you were afraid?
No, I wouldn't say I was like afraid, but I didn't realize it.
Okay.
Because we started, so that was it. So after that, I knew that this is something that I'm good at. So it has been on and on. But it was last year, April, that I decided to do poetry as a career. And it has been great, to be honest.
Wow. Yeah. So that means it is last year, April. We haven't even have a 1 year anniversary yet. You already marked yourself in the industry. That is so great of you. You know, this is what you call pure talent and something that you force. Yeah. Something that is embedded in you. If you find it out and start to work on it, it is easier to pull yourself out in the crowd than you force something on yourself. Yeah. So let's say, to the writing space. When you decide, okay, I want to be a writer now, who are those people that you look up to? Say that, okay, I want to be like this person, I want to reach the peak that this guy is, or I want to pass this person's level.
Okay. With regards to that, I would say there's a specific person or specific individuals that I look up to. For me, I'm trying to learn from people that are, and of course, there are so many individuals who are really helpful, to be honest with you. Because imagine, February was the month that I decided to do poetry as a career. And then in May, I won Writer of the Month of the Young Writers Association. That was in May.
Wow.
And then,
before you pass that, you must explain to us how did you do that. You came in April into the writing space, and in May, you won the Writers, the Month
Young Writers
Association. How were you able to, just 1 month? That is 1 month. What is the secret behind that space before you go to another point?
Okay. Let me clarify this.
Yes.
As I said earlier, from 2019 I was writing, yes. But it was in April that I decided. So imagine, from 2019 up to last year, I was writing consistently. Oh, you get it? So before even starting with the Young Writers Association, I was still sharing my work on the page. So April was the special month that I was given that award and recognition. Of course, it has to do with a lot of work, dedication, and the consistency, which is not a problem for me. Because as far as I am concerned, I do things that I love every day that I wake up. So that's just it. I keep it going, even though it's hard. I mean, that's part of life, but we keep it going. From there, yesterday, 2 of my poems got published, but then the second one was a collaboration with a friend. And earlier today, I also got another publication.
Wow.
Yeah, like a couple of hours ago.
It is a great thing that we have you on this show here today, because we're gonna, like, some of the people that didn't have to have the chance to read those poems, we're gonna hear it from you, reading it yourself, or reciting it yourself. So before you go to those points, let's still continue on the writer's piece. You know, it's not easy. Like you said, since 2019, you've been writing. You understand? You've been reading since we are young level and watching documentaries. I think these are the things that build a good writer, because this is what they have been saying. A good writer must be someone who reads a lot. Yeah. So you've been doing that since your junior school or your young age, and then growing up with it. What are some of the challenges aside of those things that you think the writer would face in the grinding level when you don't have such things in you, like the reading habit in you? What are some of the things that you think are happening?
I believe that if you as an individual, you realize yourself, those things will be much better. It took me time before me realizing myself. But of course, I was given that space of me doing what I needed to. All thanks to my dad, honestly speaking. He was the one who crafted me in that way. I learned a lot through that man. And he taught me so many things that I didn't learn in classroom. I didn't know I have specific moments. He was in my stories also.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sarah to you, man.
So,
we love you.
So that's just it. With regards to that, as I said earlier, you need that guide for you to know the path that you want to go to. And in the Gambia, that's a problem. So I would suggest people to go for mentorship. And that way it will be easier for them to know their path and then follow it. Now, it was so easy for me. In order that it was so difficult because, that was another guy.
Yeah, that means this is the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know,
that's just it.
I know.
He will provide everything that you need, but you make sure you go this way, not this way. There's no negotiation in that.
That is the formula for you.
Exactly. You have to go this way.
That's
just it. And a big thanks to my sister because I wasn't alone. I was doing it along with her. So that was it. So after me realizing that, well, above all, I'm a curious guy. I'm a very curious guy. If I see something, I just want to understand why it is happening, not to leave it like that.
You overthink about it.
Good. So through that curiosity, through so many things involved, I was able to find that way. Apart from that, I would also say, after realizing yourself and you know the things that you are good at and the things that you can do best, concentrate on that. Create time for yourself and then be focused. This is a challenge. It's not easy, but then you just have to do it because without consistency, there is nothing you can achieve. Without information, there is nothing you can achieve. So, me being the writer I am today, one of the key things which are helping me is being consistent, being curious. If I ask you a question and you tell me this, you might even write a paragraph, but I'm not still satisfied. I will try other ways to find more. That's just me. You get it? Now, another point would be writer's block. These days I used to struggle a bit with it because I didn't have a specific pattern that I go with. Okay. Exactly. That is, for example, you writing at a particular point, you get stuck. It happens to all writers, it's normal. But now, I'm in a better position. So, that will be the challenge that I see as the greater part of. Aside from that, I think anything else that comes, or anything that else that I have to deal with, I will see that as a challenge and then do what I need to do. Because at the end of the day, whether it's easy or not, you are the one who should make things better on your own. On all that side. Gambia is the country that, to be honest, we all want things to be better. But it cannot get better when most people hands are folded like this and sit that at one place. It doesn't go that way. It doesn't go that way. We don't have to get to talk about, but all I can say is no matter the weather, alright? And then be consistent. Just that's it. And in the country, we all want it to be better, but we cannot have that when our hands are folded from a worker. And that is very right, coach, because most of us believe things will just come accidentally without knowing that. And one of my main mentor, I'll call it, Mr. Fad, said, people think success is an accident at some point in time, but there's no success that is an accident. A success that meets an opportunity that happens to meet an preparation, that's what people call an accident, but it is not. The person is well prepared before that thing to blow up. So if you just continue on what you were saying right now. So far, how many pieces have you written? Well, that's a lot, as I said earlier. Because, as I said earlier, I don't do things the way people do. I don't even enjoy doing it. Okay, now what's your format for yourself? I had documented all the poems that I wrote. Poems that I wrote. It could have been nearly 500. Wow! I'm serious, I'm dead serious. It could have been nearly 500. But there were days that I was doing it, yes, for the fact that I love it, but then it was not at a certain structure. So many of them were not documented. But for now, I can say nearly to 350 or close to 400 poems that I write down. What I do is, sometimes I decide on a particular month to write constantly from the first to the last day of the month. I even did it the last time, which was November. November was the last month that I did. From 1st November to 30th of November. Non-stop. Every day. I did. I even did 360 days every day. Sorry. No, it's not 360 days. 3 months, 90 days, continuous, 3 months continuous, exactly. Yeah. We are non-stop. But the best part of things is for you to understand yourself.
Okay, you are doing that and then to develop yourself, your writing, and to know your thoughts, where to adjust them on.
Of course, that was part of it. And then I was also doing that challenge to make myself to be more consistent. You can't just do it the way you want it. So you have to put structures that will help you and achieve what you want to achieve. As I said earlier, consistency is key. So for me, whatever I do or whatever I'm doing, I try to be consistent. That's just it.
That's very nice. Yeah. Consistency is key, and then you have to challenge yourself with things that you know. Without great passion to it, you will not push it. That is for real. And then 3 months challenge is not an easy thing. Yeah. I know a lot of people that, and then they will set targets like that, but at the end of the day, they'll go in the middle and then try to weigh out their promises. It's not easy, like you said. So let's say, with all of those pieces that you have, did you try to have visuals for any of them, or did you try to have, let's say, an album from all of those pieces?
No. Well, with regards to visual, I will come in a sense of performing.
Performing, okay.
Yeah, I did that about twice. Yeah, that was last month at Poetry Cafe, and then month before that at Poetry Cafe as well. Okay. It normally happens every last Friday of the month. So I had the chance of performing at these two.
Oh,
so that was it. So aside from that, things went even deeper, because what I do is, even without writing, my muse is love, and my goal is to spread love. That's the positive guy I am. So anywhere I go, I try to put that across, because that's one thing for sure. People remember you and how you make them feel. Just if you meet someone today, you make them feel good, they will forever remember you for that. If the other way is the same thing. Of course, we are as humans, we are not perfect, but we can get better with time. Well, let's also try and be.
That is very much right. People remember you. Obviously, like your encounter with people is what they judge you. More especially Englishman said first expression. When they meet you for the first time, what you portray to them is what they will constantly keep in their mind. Even you make changes or you adopting yourself in a new lifestyle, people will start to click on the back what they know you for. That is very much right. So let's to still continue on. We would love to know. You write almost 400 points. No visual as of now. No album launching as of now. Let's know what category are those poems labeled on? Okay. What are they focused on?
If you look at the duration that in the industry is not long, that's a point. And then second, I myself, I know, to me, these things are a way for me to still get better at what I'm doing. Yeah, people don't see the things that happen
in the background.
Exactly. No. They only see the results. So for me, the result is what matters. Sorry, the public stress is what matters. That's what I enjoy more. Seeing the result is things like, okay, this is just the outcome of it. Being a star is confirmed at a stage, not at the stage. You get the point?
Okay. I get it.
Okay, good.
I get it. It's where you reach.
Good. So that is a place that I want to reach at a certain friend that I have. He's still good, yeah. But he was depressed, and one time he even wanted to commit suicide. Yeah.
Okay.
She wanted to commit suicide.
A poet or non-poet?
No, the person is not even in the Gambia.
Okay.
So it was outside Gambia. It doesn't just start here. Typically, it started elsewhere before here.
Okay.
I'm a versatile person, so I have different ways of doing things. So it depends on the context. If it comes, I deal with it. If the other one comes, I deal with it and I move. That's just it. So I was able to give that light to her for her to see, and then I was able to have hope again.
Amazing.
Yeah, and things are different. Though there are people who don't even have trust in people, in other people, no more. So I was able to meet those people. America is an example. South America is an example. North America is an example. I meet a lot of people. So I'm just glad that I was able to bring that positivity and then show that love out there. Yeah, there are some now we don't talk for some reasons. I mean, that's like people come into your life for three reasons. Some are there to stay permanently, some are there for a reason, and some are there for a season. So it depends on you to see how to deal with those people, and then goes on.
That is very much like
I'm so much glad that there are so many people that have trust in me, and then they share their problems with me, and of course we solve it together because it's not a one-man thing. It's a two.
And I think that's something that everyone has to align yourself with, most especially like when you come in terms of the writing space. If you are a writer, you get to know of that. Like people trust you. When you're a leader, people trust you. They confidently believe in you because things that you are writing in your piece, they believe that okay, if I go to this person and explain, the person might be able to help me out and will keep my secret to himself. So I'm really impressed and then with the work of yours, and then congratulations in that aspect. So to still and then further on in another point that I would love to ask you, that is, what kind of writing are you focusing on? Are you only focusing on raw? Are you only focusing on societal? Or are you open? That is mixed. Okay, let's do know.
Well, love is something we all can't live without. Even so many would say, but it's just the reality. Yeah, society was made of love, and it is love that makes us this, and then it is true love that will make us disappear. Look at it. We all were born, but there were people at the beginning who nurture us. It was not a one-man job. If we die, the same thing happens. There are people who tell us to get there. Of course, we have different types of love. But yeah, I write romantic poems, piece, I would say. But I was really using that to penetrate in the market at the first level. Oh, just give people what they want to hear. Good, bro. Yeah, of course, I mean, it has certain misconceptions, but that's just it. That was how I started. But then, that was also a way for me to okay. Yeah, I want to be open about this. Personally, to get me to get me open up, it's really, really hard. I'm very hard to convince when it comes to words. So sometimes it should be more of like a action. Sometimes if I'm expressing myself, I prefer to stand and talk and both with it and I don't feel with the stuff. So that's just it. Now, when it comes to society also
let's talk about the healing aspect. That is something that might hinder a lot.
Yeah.
You write law to penetrate the market, which we understand will always live understood. And you said also sometimes write to heal. Heal from what? That is something that you would love to know.
Okay. Personally, as I said earlier, I find it very difficult to open up. Not because I don't trust people, no, that's just I have so many people that I can look up to. I know it's a hard society we are living in the world as a globe.
Yeah.
But then for me, I still know there are certain people that I can talk to and I'm good. But to let that thing out is a problem. One of the main reasons why is, as men sometimes society thinks that we just need to fight that battle on our own and then don't cry, don't show your weakness or stuff like that. So that was a emotion I was having them, and I'm like, okay, for me, no matter the situation, I will still and make the best use of it and try to solve things. That was it. Those days, if I I'm sad. If I'm sad, there are two things involved. I either go to the beach or I sleep bad. And the worst happened when I got what I was isn't expected at the day. Imagine you go to a particular place to free your mind and you get the worst out of it. So that was it. And
How do you get something worse from the beach?
like I said, there's a place that I normally go and then relax my mind if I'm going through hard times or stuff. I was, to be honest, I was hard on myself, to be honest with you. So, something happened. I think I'm not to mention that here. Something happened, which
encounter with you yourself, or something you experienced, you are involved in it, or you experience, like you watch it happening while you are an exceptional, like you're an outsider to that scene.
Let's say I'm an outsider to the scene. Okay. I was expecting joy.
Okay.
To make it precise, I was expecting joy, but then I witnessed the other side of things. But that didn't stop me.
I'm not saying you explain it. I'm not saying you go into detail to it. But we just want it to little bit brief and
Like I said earlier, I prefer not to mention that. But okay, I was expecting joy, but then I got disappointment.
Okay, you are out with your partner and then something else happened, or you are out yourself. You are out yourself.
It wasn't
a partner.
It wasn't a partner.
It wasn't a friend as well. You're just out there on yourself.
Yeah.
And then maybe something, one or two things happen, someone approach you.
Let's just leave it there.
Let's just leave it like
that.
Let's just leave it like that. I think my brother is something that I have cornered in that corner, but it's not So we will have a lot of interesting topics to discuss along the line. So what we're gonna say is that let's just take a little bit break and then come back. Welcome back from that short break, and then we thank you for joining us. If you're just tuning in right now, you're watching SSBD TV, GAM Writers, so a program that is specifically designed for young writers or writers in this country that need the platform to speak, because actually it's very great for us to have people that write within us and then giving a space for them to also speak out on the journey that you're going through and how they are going through it, how is the society feeling of the writer space. So this is a program that is dedicated for that. If you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe, and if you are watching it on Facebook, TikTok, or any other platform, you can please and follow us as well. So just to continue on that, brother, welcome back.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back, and that's I want to go break me out and then discuss a lot of things about that. So, but then now let's come to in the writer space as well. How do you see Gambian writing industry?
In which aspect specifically?
When we said, let's start with this aspect of how is it compared to the other space, the other industries, the performing arts industry. Like how is the writers among the others?
Well, to be honest with you, we have a lot more. Yeah. Let's say, for example, if you look at the music industry in Gambia, in the early 2000s, it was at a level that was really challenging for those people who were in their primes. I could remember the likes of MLK, which many people might not even know.
Yeah.
I started listening to Gambian music when I was very Sesingom. Many people knew about her recently. You have Sesingom, you have Singade, you have Inyazi, you have so many Silky Trees. The list goes on. I started listening to all those people at a very young age. And those came there, to be honest. But now, look at the likes of ST. Now, even though he was along the way at some point, look at the likes of ST, the likes of Andrew, the likes of Dada, the list goes on. Their era is quite different from those people, their era. Exactly. So now, it has come to a level where governments now are really appreciating their music, their own. Even though there is still competition, but then it has a different.
Because they cannot feel
good. Now, if you look at the poetry industry, when it comes to reading, it's a problem in the Gambia. So many factors contribute to it. But I even in Bukola, then don't have to lang at the Lord TV or Naya and some mechanic. God better for the last. I'm telling you.
That's because you're always indoors.
In a sense,
Okay, yeah.
come in the kind of bar. There are moments when I see the newspaper and catch it.
Because you used to read it.
Yeah, that newspaper. So now, I understand. I was constantly doing it, but to the level from another for Africa. So, yeah, because me and love me to be no.
So let's say then in the music and in writing space in general, what do you think is pulling them?
Anyway, I'm still coming to that. Because foundational was there for me. And I know there are other people who didn't have that opportunity, which is understandable. It's very much understandable. But for one thing we started, if we want things to be better, well, we have to put effort in there for it. Some people did a month when I was a kid, but after they were able to adopt and see the value it has. The truth is that we are always adopt to live, and sorry, we are always late to adopt, and if we adopt, we misuse things. But in the industry, we just have to share that love and genuine to each other, and then work towards making things better. Because my label the me and go so in order to better, force of chemo.
That's the point that I wanted to come in the term of and the industry itself. Talking about the love aspect, we're taking an example at the performing arts. Back then, there was a little bit of fighting among themselves in terms of collaboration, which could also be seen as a way that pulled them back, because recently you can see the interconnection, collaboration throughout everything, and then it's going, everyone is filling up. Let's say Mini Kumandiroke, ST calls, he has a collabo with everyone. Attack calls, has a collabo with ST comes. All of them, their fans gather together, they fill up their venues now. Understand? Performing arts is a place whereby we expect the same to be happening. But with some of the previous episodes we have here, it seems like the connection is not there. The love towards each other is not there. It's kind of been a competitive industry right now instead of a collaborative. Is that the reality on ground?
Well, what I can say is people have different perspectives of doing things, and of course, opinions.
Now, in your opinion, I'm saying, I'm looking at the writing space right now. Do you see it as a collective and collaborative space or a competitive space? Do you think that the artists, the writers that are there, are kind of trying to collaborate to move the writing space from where it is to up there, or it's kind of been a half and half of whereby they're trying to compete among themselves?
To be honest with you, there are only people out there. I mean, when it comes to the collaboration, things at a certain level. If you look at it, of course, in every art, we all want to be better. But if you look at it, there is a stage, which is very, very important. Because if things are not, if the foundation is not good, wherever we go or wherever we reach out, it will always reflect on this. And I just want to say this, people just believe. Humanity was almost fading away, bro. Everybody is even thinking about transactional differences, transactional relations. It's just not helping. Let's just be real to each other. We need that collaboration to collaborate with people and do it. For me personally, I'm a good collaborator. Bro, I almost had 15 collaborations, not only in the Gambia here. I have some at Malawi, Nigeria, Gambia here, and then so many are to come. As I said earlier, for me, my perspective is different from other people. What is the essence of fighting each other? Whereas you can combine together and then make things better. For you both to go or reach at a certain level. So the best thing is for us to collaborate more. And of course, there are certain people that are acknowledged, they just doing good and they are always ready for that. Because I have to be honest with you, there was no boy who I met in this industry that I approached a collaboration with and the party says no to me, no, it never happened. They were all willing to. But even though sometimes schedules and other things it's not even possible, which I understand. So it also depends on the engineer's pocket. Those perspectives are different. Just look at things. For any way I make that will better, that's just it.
Okay, and you were given the space until when you feel like no work turned down on you. A lot of young writers say for people like you, when you get to that peak, when they reach out to you, it becomes a problem. Do you think that is happening?
When I get to a certain level.
Like you guys that you come now, okay, you are prominent writers in the country. For them to have you, like those that are already aspiring to be at your level that you guys are, for them to have you people, then you guys only turn back on them when it is occasionally, like you have an event to come or you have something that is coming, you tend to communicate with them so that they can promote your thing for you.
No, for me, I'm not into that.
You're not into that.
Like I said, I only performed twice. And aside from those performances, that was, to be honest with you, it was even to encouragement from people. And then at a point, like I need to imagine, I need to party, okay. In my first performance, I just went to a poetic, with respect to the last poet king and then Ahmad Estelle, fantastic star. Those two people are incredible. I wish you have them here. They are the one who came with that initiative. Honestly, I didn't plan it. I went there.
Recommending us to have them on the show.
Of course, you need to. I went there and then they were like, bro, you need to perform, you need to perform. That was it, and then I performed. And the first time. The second time, I was trying to build it. Personally, I was creating a particular moment for it. The second time was also the same thing. And was like, I was the first person he wrote on the list of performance. You know, it's good that you know how to go with people. Okay. That's very important. I think that sometimes others don't know how to go with people. That's why they are facing difficulty. And then also, earlier I mentioned that let's not put things transactional. There are so many people who are doing it. You know, if I want something from you, I'm about to think. So you are thinking that what will I also gain from you? So what you will also gain from me? You know, things like that doesn't make things better. Let's do it for humanity if we are to do it for humanity, and then let's do it for business if we are to do it for business. Of course, Gambia is quite different from the other parts of the world. Yeah. But influence is coming in a certain way, which is not really helping us. So we know people and we know how to deal with them. For me, there are certain people I had collaboration with them. It's not like I just jump and then do it. There was a particular point I was targeting, and when I reached to that level, I approached, and that was it. I worked for it. It didn't just happen that way. Oh, okay. I worked for it, bro. So you need to target, or you need to mark a point before you can able to jump. That was me, in a sense. I prepared myself to a level that, but I got a lot of rejection in life. So for me, if I have those challenges, I'm like, okay, this is a chance for me to be better. People have different ways of doing things. That's just me I'm talking about. If you reject me today, don't worry. I even told you the other day. Yeah. You see? Today we are here, I'm not sure. That's right. I told you. It is right. It's right about that. I told you. Understand. I think he has been on that conversation before. So, and it'll be like, we engage, our schedules are busy, this and that, and then for somehow, miraculously, we have our brother on the show. I knew I will come. Yeah. Because from the first approach, understand that I need to be different this time. If that's the way, like, if you keep doing the same thing, you will end up having the same results. So you have to be different to make a difference, and that difference will take you to another level. That's very much right. That is very much right. And then I think that is something that everyone should try and put in mind, and then we note it as well. Because in whatever we do, you need to try to improve yourself every day. As long as you're improving, you will not knock at any door and the person close it for you. If you see you knock a door and then it's still not open, probably they didn't see your work or you're not noticeable right now. So you just need to work yourself to a point that you don't need to introduce yourself. Well, then, I like that.
Yeah, so to still continue on a little bit of your entrepreneurship, how do you see writing and entrepreneurship? How do you see the business part of writing? How do you see people, like a lot of people want to venture into writing, but they feel like it's a space that I can't make a living out of it. My parents want me to be someone that will uplift the poverty on them. So if I venture into and give all my time to writing, I will not be able to
Understand that. I understand that perfectly. We are in a country where it matters what you do, but that is something that I believe this will help people. It's good to do things that you know have passion for, of course. But sometimes if your passion is not paid, because there are certain parents that will be 10 times ahead of you as far as you are explaining to them you want to be poet. They will tell you like, okay, you don't want to do it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what
Honestly, it's a valid point because you both know what is at your home. The people outside don't know, but you know what you are going through. So my advice would be do poetry, but then also look for something that will make money for you. Of course, there are certain ways you can have money in poetry. That will be through book launching and after launching selling. But it's limited in the Gambia here, to be honest with you, because as I said earlier, Gambians most of the time we don't read. We have less readers. Imagine how much is our population?
2.5.
How many hundreds or thousands are readers? I mean, are really readers.
Yeah.
So it's a question to ask. That could happen, but then you can also try and sell yourself outside the world and through that you can make money. The process is there, so it just takes you as an individual for you just to make a step and then do it. But as I said earlier, there is need for you to do things that will make you money and then you also pursue your poetry career. It's very much important because if not, it will be hard. Imagine today you go for an interview and the next 2 interviews you need to go to, you will struggle with fear.
That is very much right. And in a space, more especially poetry that you're talking about. Poetry is not only about, let's say, in Gambia here, if you want yourself to out, because like you said, then we are struggling with readers. You understand? So for you to mark yourself, for you to be noticed, then you need to record it in a voice format for people to hear you out. You need to do it in a visual format for people to see you, and that will all have to take cash. So doing that, if you're not in the business aspect of it as well, I'm sorry, it's going to be hard on you.
Yeah.
So to still continue on, and then we have, I think they are telling you that you have 5 minutes more to go. So within the 5 minutes, you want to just break down and try to summarize certain things. That is, you yourself in the poetry space right now. After all this achievement in this short space, where do you see yourself? And 2026, 2027 in the poetry space.
Do I have to say that?
You have tick boxes. So you draw a box and you want to tick it.
For me, the thing is, one thing I know for certain, I will not be the same person I am today. 2027. That's for sure.
So what are some of the targets? You obviously have people that love what you're doing. They have been like, fancy mom, like fancy mom, they will be like, okay, we want him to launch an album for us, or we want him to release this amount for us, we want him to do this for you. So now, what are some of those things that you tick or you try to promise the fans that, okay, I want to do this for my fans in this 2026?
Okay, with regards to fan base, to be honest with you, I'm just that type of person who don't even have social media followers for my work. It's just crazy. So it's just WhatsApp that I'm using. But I personally know that I need to be better. Of course, I'm having plans of doing that. It's a process, to be honest with you. It's not something that you have to jump in and then do things. Because today, you'll be thinking of an idea to write about, and then somehow your mind will click. That's how you see more. You see? But for what is certain, I'm trying to work on that to make things better. So, Because as to launching, no, I have no plans of that as of now. One thing is for certain, as I said earlier, coming 2027, I'll be a different person, and I'm just working towards to make myself better. And along that journey going on, so many things will come, and you will see it for sure. And much grace and then thanks to all the people that have been helping out so much.
That's a very good one, and it's a very great thing as well. So let's see, in a short summary format, if one is to look at you and want to take you as a mentor, a young writer that is coming up, how would the person reach out to you? Are you open to young ones that need coaching in the writing space?
Honestly speaking, yeah, of course, I will.
They watch. So if you give a promise here, and someone said to us that the person contact you for a mentorship, you are like, I'm not open for anyone.
To be honest with you, I personally am concentrating on working on myself. But one thing is for certain. I can recommend people for you that can mentor you, because you don't just wake up and tell me or tell someone that I want you to mentor me. People have different means. Like for example, you and I, let's say for today, if you want to come in the poetry and then do it as a career, of course you will need guidance. That's very important. Yeah, you will need guidance. But do you ask yourself, my goals and your goals, my values and your values, are they in align? It's a point to ask yourself. Do you see? Now, there's one thing for sure. I have different style of writing. Today, I can write spoken word poetry. Today, I can write written word poetry. I can even write stories, bro. Don't worry. The latest work that has been published today was a story. You see? So I have different ways of doing things. People reach out to me for me to help them in editing and look at their works, which I do, honestly speaking. I mean, we are doubts and parts for it. Very certain, I didn't do this alone. Of course, there were people who helped me, and then I'm also still making things better for so many that are close to me, and then they have reached out to me. I'll give you my advice. One thing that I always do is choose what works for you and make that way better. Because my way is different from your way. Unless and until we are at a particular point that I know, yeah, this we tally together. We can always resonate in so many ways. But if you come for me for advices, of course, I will give you advice. If you send a piece for me to edit, I will edit.
That is very much right. And I think that is something that the young ones will love as at this point in time that they are. So let's say we are might have less minutes to go. So before we give you a closing speech for you to and then acknowledge people that you want to and then finally your last word. So we would love you to give us at least 2 speeches. Maybe the very one. No, if not for full, just check your we go with it and see.
Let me just look this out. Give me a minute.
That's fine. So, like, we still continuing on the show. We thank you for watching up to this extent. If you're still watching, if you just joining in, thank you for watching GAM Writer. So, today I am your host and I'm so with me, Abubakar. Abubakar, let's go.
Right. And the title of the piece is "What is Home Without Hope?"
What is home without hope?
Yes. It goes. Hope with me is a loose tree. I got a dream, tweeted it out the moment my heart twisted. Life is tough. I was told. Even though I am bold and cold, the man wants to strive, but the driver only ride. The spirit tight, the environment not right. Home without hope is biased to growth. The fire within was buried. Who buried it? Myself, I didn't know. Hope is invisible. 2-year-old kid, I was asked, "Are you kidding?" I still have any answer.
I have some thoughts. Is this actually something that is a reason? Because I feel like it's kind of connecting with the tragedy that we're receiving in our country right now. We all feel like we are in a hope, but we are not having any hope in our country right now.
I know what you are thinking.
And that's how hard.
To be honest, it can be reflected in so many ways.
Okay.
If I talk, I can mean so many things. If I read, I can mean so many things. That's me. Of course, even sometimes you find it difficult. But I understand. That's just it. Okay. It's okay. But with time, I've been an advantage. Of course. But like, if you look at our country, things are not the way we want to. That's fair. But I mean, with respect and big respect to everyone who is hustling to make things better for themselves and their family, because it's not going to be easy. But this is just to reflect on different angles. People who have been in this situation deeper, and then also people who have the encouragement of going through back way, they can also be involved. Because, as I said earlier, I know what you are thinking, because I knew that your mom went there still. So, of course, the journey is not something which is really helpful when it comes to considering the risks out of it. And I'm not even willing for anyone to take it.
That's my point.
But one thing is for certain, let's just change our attitude. Things will be better.
Let's just change our attitude. Things will be better. So can we have the second piece, then we have the full
second piece, alright. Okay, this was published. I was the one I had a collaboration with a friend.
Is also a poet?
Yeah.
What's the name?
His name is Adam Masedi, known as the lyrical Akira.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go.
It says, I was born in a house where love felt like that. Silence room and the sun where I set. My family meant well, but life meant war, and I became a soldier before I knew what for. I thought of how to be free, what to invest, so I can reflect with intent. My mother wore pale like Sunday dress, smiling through scores, hiding distress. My father was present, yet always away, lost in the burden of provide and obey. It's a long piece, but let me just hold there for time.
All right. Thank you so much. I think that is something acknowledgeable and a very good piece. So let's just finally wrap it up. They really allowing me that their time is up.
Yeah,
So let's go with what would be your final word? People that you want to acknowledge for leaving this space.
My final words would be let's just be realistic and loyal to each other, because there's no reason or genuine reason that should make you for you to be fake. I mean, as humans in general, and to everyone who is aspiring to be a poet or a poetess or a writer or whatsoever vision you have or whatsoever thing that you have, just try to find people who will genuinely help you and make things better for you. And then you also have to be real to yourself. Above all, be patient. Our generation here is a problem. We just have to be patient and then work towards making things better. At the end, just be real. That's my message I would say. Just be real.
Just be real. Thank you so much for that, and it was actually nice and a pleasure to have you in our studio. We really acknowledge you, and then we thank you for the efforts that you're doing and the patience that you have, and then to be in communication with us. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for watching to this extent. We're telling you that bye bye until next episode. This episode it was with me, Eswebu, and then I gotta have a guest with you guys that is Abu Wakar. Bye bye.